Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Peace and Wisdom. Imagine yourself in Sujood, your forehead touching the ground, in an act of pure humility. Right now, you are closer to Allah than ever before. But Sujood is not just a physical gesture. It is an intimate conversation between you and your Creator, a unique opportunity to let go and feel His mercy. 1. The spiritual power of Sujood, development. Sujood, this act of deep prostration, is one of the most powerful gestures a believer can perform. But it's not just a physical movement or ritual. It is a time when the soul, often overwhelmed by the burdens of the world, finds safe shelter. In this moment of total abandonment, the ego, which clings to the illusion of control, dissipates like mist at sunrise. What remains is a soul ready to receive the light and guidance of Allah. Imagine yourself in the darkness of the night, alone with your thoughts, your anxieties, your buried fears. You feel this tightness on your chest, this weight that nothing seems to be able to lighten. Then, you place your forehead on the ground, in sujood, a gesture that is both humble and powerful. At this very moment, you say to Allah, "I can no longer carry all this alone. I entrust the burden to you." And like a river returning to its natural course, your anxieties begin to fade away. The secret of happiness lies in its simplicity and its spiritual depth. It reminds the believer that he is weak by himself, but strong by the connection with Allah. This moment, where one is translated to the lowest physically, paradoxically represents the highest point of faith. There you surrender, not in a gesture of weakness, but in an act of absolute trust in the one who controls everything. Hearts, often heavy with responsibilities and trials, shed their burdens in this posture. Sujood offers a sacred space, a sanctuary where the soul finally finds respite. It is not just a temporary escape from difficulties, but a true reconnection to the source of inner peace. Every believer who has truly immersed himself in this state of abandonment can testify to this inexplicable tranquility, a tranquility that cannot be found in the distractions of this world. Sujood then becomes a silent dialogue, a moment where you do not need determined words or long invocations. Your heart speaks for you. Your tears, sometimes held back for so long, flow freely, washing the soul of its anxieties. And in this act, you realize that you are never alone. Each sujood is a meeting, a reconnection, a reminder that even in your darkest moments, Allah is there, ready to welcome your sorrows. This is the spiritual power of sujood, a refuge, a key to open the door to serenity and divine proximity. 2. Fate-changing summons, development. In the solitude of happiness, there are words capable of transforming an entire life. Simple words, but so powerful they can open doors you thought were sealed forever. These are not simple words. These are the names d'Allah, bearers of His divine attributes, of His infinite power, and of His promises for those who invoke Him with sincerity. O Fatah, He who opens the ways, He who breaks down visible and invisible obstacles. O Razak, He who grants sustenance, He who provides for every creature, even when the source of provision seems dry. Ya Kareem, the generous, the one who gives without counting, far beyond what we deserve. These names are not simple appellations. They are divine keys that unlock Allah's blessings. Each name contains a specific promise. O Fatah opens the way to those who feel stuck. O Razak guarantees subsistence, even in times of scarcity. And Ya Kareem reminds us that divine generosity surpasses all human understanding. Imagine yourself in sujood, with trembling lips, softly repeating these names. Ya Fatah, Ya Razak, Ya Kareem. Your words rise to the heavens like a sincere plea. But it's not just saying these names that changes your destiny. This is the certitude that these names contain a divine answer. When you say O Fatah, you are not only asking for an opening in your material life, but also in your heart, in your mind, and in your faith. You ask Allah to open the doors of serenity, inner peace, and guidance. Let us take the example of a man overwhelmed by trials. His business is on the verge of bankruptcy, his debts are piling up, and each passing day seems darker than the last. But every night in the darkness of his room, he kneels in sujood and repeats in despair, Ya Fatah, Ya Razak, Ya Kareem. He doesn't know how, but he is convinced that Allah will open a door. Little by little, opportunities begin to arise. A former friend proposes a partnership, a forgotten client resurfaces, and debts seem to be resolved one after the other. It wasn't luck. It wasn't a coincidence. This was the promise contained in these divine names. In life, we all face situations that seem problem-free: debts, illnesses, personal failures. But Allah is the one who has the keys to every solution. When you repeat O Fatah, you affirm your confidence that He will open the door. When you invoke O Razak, you recognize that it is Allah who provides for all your needs. And repeating Ya Kareem, you testify to your faith in His infinite generosity. In these names lies the promise that your destiny can change. All you have to do is invoke them with a sincere heart, in sujood, in that state of vulnerability where the soul is most receptive to divine response. And now ask yourself this question: what doors are you waiting for Allah to open for you? Maybe your deliverance is just a stone's throw away. 3. Testimonials of transformation, development. Sometimes life pushes us to our limits. The trials accumulate, the heart becomes heavy, and the soul wavers under the weight of uncertainties. But there are stories of transformation that show that even from the depths of the abyss, the light of Allah can emerge and soothe tormented hearts. Let's take the example of Layla. Layla was an ordinary woman, but her life had become a real internal battleground. The stress of responsibilities, social expectations, and fear of failure had sent him into a spiral of anxiety. Every night his thoughts circled. And despite all his efforts to find a solution, one thing persisted: this feeling of emptiness, of inner chaos, which refused to dissipate. One evening, after a particularly difficult day, Layla feels overwhelmed. The weight of his concerns seemed unbearable. She then turned to what she had perhaps neglected for too long: her prayer rug. This evening was not a routine prayer. It was a silent cry for help, a heartfelt plea, a conversation between a broken soul and its creator. Entering sujood, Layla let her heart speak. Ya Salam, O source of peace. These words, so simple, became a refuge. She repeated them with an intensity she had never felt before. Each sujood was a moment of liberation, an opportunity to place one's burdens in the hands of Allah. Little by little, something changed. What was once an internal storm was beginning to calm down. As the days went by, she noticed that her anxiety was diminishing. The panic that seized her at the slightest unexpected event subsided, replaced by a feeling of deep peace. It was not an instant miracle, but a gradual transformation. Layla understood that each sujood, each sincere invocation, was a step towards inner healing. This change was not a coincidence. It was the direct manifestation of one of God's promises. Allah brings peace to those who call upon Him with faith. The name O Salam is not just a nice name. It is a source of tranquility offered to anyone who turns to Allah with a sincere heart. By repeating this name, Layla opened the door to an inner peace that exceeded anything she could have hoped for. Those close to Layla quickly noticed the difference. His voice was calmer, his gaze more peaceful, and his smile returned little by little. But what they did not see were the hours spent in sujood, in intimate conversation with Allah, where she poured out her fears and received in return immutable serenity. This testimony is far from unique. Each of us carries inner struggles, worries that we keep hidden from the world. But through sujood and the invocation of divine names, we all have the opportunity to transform our lives. You just have to believe that peace is at hand, that relief is near, and that Allah's promise is true. Ask yourself this question: what are you waiting for to file your charges in sujood? Perhaps the peace you have been seeking for so long is hidden in these few words. Ya Salam, O spring of peace. 4. Physical and mental benefits. Sujood, although deeply spiritual, exerts a physical and mental influence that goes beyond simple prayer. It is an act of total submission that engages the body in a unique way. and the scientific benefits associated with this posture are no longer in doubt. By leaning on the ground, the body adopts a position that promotes the alignment of the vertebrae and improved blood circulation. This allows oxygen to flow more efficiently to the brain, bringing an immediate feeling of mental clarity. Scientists have observed that Sujood plays a crucial role in reducing cortisol, this stress hormone which, when present in excess, can disrupt the balance of our body. This reduction in cortisol in the blood creates instant calm, reducing anxiety and creating an inner space of serenity. It is as if each Sujood movement allows the body to shed invisible weights, thus providing immediate physical relief. But that's not all. The simple act of placing your forehead against the earth is a powerful way to relieve the tensions accumulated throughout the day. It is as if this posture allows the body to reconnect with its source of energy, rebalancing the muscles and softening the spine. Back pain, often caused by poor posture or stress, can thus be reduced, because Sujood encourages a natural realignment of the body. The effect on the mind is equally remarkable. With every happiness, the mind finds a haven of peace. The regular rhythm of breathing, accentuated by this position of humility, creates a mental space where thoughts calm and agitation ceases. It is a return to oneself, an immersion in a dimension of tranquility where the mind can detach itself from daily concerns. Sujood then becomes much more than a simple physical act. It is an invitation to purification of the heart and tranquility of the mind. So through this simple posture, we discover a natural remedy, where the true body, mind, and soul unite in an act of integral well-being. 5. Spiritual challenge and invitation. Tonight, as night sets in, treat your soul to a moment of deep peace. Find a quiet corner, away from the distractions of the world, and spread out your prayer mat. This moment is a call to purity of heart, an invitation to reconnect with yourself in the simplicity of the present moment. Let your thoughts settle like birds on a tree and immerse yourself in sincere sujood, where every movement becomes a liberation of the soul. In this humble posture, your heart speaks. Words are no longer necessary, as the beat of your heart rises to the sky, resonating with the depth of your faith. Speak softly, but with conviction, O Fatah, you the open. Open my heart to infinite blessings. O Razzaq, you, the sustainer, grant me something to nourish my body and my soul. Ya Kareem, you the generous, in you I have all confidence. With each invocation, let these divine names penetrate your being, and let each syllable be transformed into an act of submission and gratitude to the one who governs all. It is not a simple act of prayer, but a spiritual challenge that I pose to you. Commit to repeating this gesture every day for a week. Don't let the daily rhythm make you forget this sacred moment. Take the time to settle down, to reconnect with your essence through sujood. You will see that gradually, subtle changes will begin to manifest in your life. Tensions that evaporate, thoughts that become clearer, a serenity that invades you. Through this practice, you will discover that sujood is not just an act of devotion, but a key that unlocks the doors to change. Simply getting down on the ground, letting go of your ego, and completely submitting to the will of Allah can transform the way you view life's challenges. Your heart will expand, your mind will calm, and your relationship with the divine will strengthen. This week of focus will not only change the way you pray, but it can redefine the way you live. Be ready to embrace this change and watch for signs that your sincere commitment is already beginning to bear fruit. Sujood is not a simple posture. It is a key to unlocking unsuspected blessings. The question is, are you ready to get closer to Allah and transform your destiny? The journey begins with a single sujood,